Brought to you by the Mariana Outdoorsman Association and by Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds. Now, the Great Outdoors with Jason White.
Hello, friends. I'm Jason White. Welcome to the Great Outdoors. Happy to have you today. It is a beautiful, crisp spring day here in southwestern Pennsylvania. I want to start off by giving a special thanks to the Mariana Outdoorsman Association. You can join the MOA today at marianaoutdoors.com. Again, marianaoutdoors.com. You can follow them on Facebook at MOA Outdoor Channel, YouTube is MOA Outdoor Channel. Facebook's Mariana Outdoorsman Association. Same thing for Instagram. And then obviously you can listen to them on the radio here at WMBS, and also podcasts are recorded and uploaded to Anchor and also Spotify. So if you ever just want to follow up on what we're talking about, you can follow all of those different platforms, including, again, MarianaOutdoors.com has everything kind of hubbed in, so you can follow up about the organization and everything ongoing. Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds. If you're looking to schedule a wild turkey hunt, whitetail hunt, or last but not least, any types of upland birds, pheasant, quail, and chukar, please check us out. Phone number is 724-579-0924, and you can get additional information on the website, 10mileco.org. That is TENMILECO.org. And as always, if you ever want to schedule a tour for either of those facilities, you can reach out to me personally. Again, 724-579-0924. We actually are doing a lot of tours, showing people around, asking and answering lots of questions from folks. We love to just have those conversations to kind of show people what we do, how we do it, and what all amenities are available. Also, in regards to Wild Acres, the event venue is now available, so if you're looking to do parties, weddings, corporate retreats, bachelorette parties, you can now schedule those as well and get those booked. Again, TENMILECO.org, 10mileco.org, or 724-579-0924 for additional information. Last but not least, special thanks to Washington County Tourism and Promotion Agency. Please visit Washington County, PA. For those that do not know, I assume you know, we are located in Washington County, Pennsylvania, and actually touch Greene County. So please visit Southwest PA. But we're going to dive right into it. I want to go over some upcoming events for the organization of the Mariana Outdoorsman Association, and also just kind of recap what we've been doing, what's been going on, looking ahead at this planting season, etc. But that being said, we just completed a fantastic gun and cash bash. It was a collaboration with the Ellsworth Volunteer Fire Company, the Cookburg Volunteer Fire Company, and the Mariana Outdoorsman Association. I want to give a special thanks to all the first responders, the communities as a whole for collaborating. It was fantastic to see everybody, and it was a tremendous event. So I look forward to personally and professionally working with everybody moving forward. Can't say thank you enough. Please, if you personally can support your local fire department, first responders in any capacity, please do so. But again, special thanks to them and for all their efforts. When everybody's running away from a fire, they're the types of folks that are running to it. So just remember that. Looking ahead in the near future, Saturday, March 23rd. Oh, let me back up. I skipped one. This upcoming Saturday, March the 16th, the Firearm Owners Against Crime is hosting a gun bash from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's at the Washington County Fairgrounds. We're actually going to have a booth set up there with information to talk about the organization. If anybody is interested in joining, we'll have folks there to be able to answer any questions. The following Saturday, March 23rd, we're going to have a tour and open house. Happy to have you. If you have any questions, you want to see anything, you want to take an in-person tour, look see with your own two eyes, this is your opportunity. That'll be at 10 a.m. Meeting place is at Wild Acres Farm. It's at our office, 1997 Morey Road, Clarksville, Pennsylvania, 15322. Thursday, April 4th, that is at 3 p.m. Thursday, April 4th at 3 p.m., we will have a trout stocking. That's our April trout stocking. That's the stocking right before opening day of trout season in Pennsylvania. So we'd be happy to have you. Again, that is Thursday, April 4th at 3 p.m. Saturday, April 20th and 21st, there's a long-range hunter class. That's at Wild Acres Farm. All the details for that are on Facebook and also on the website, MarianaOutdoors.com, or go to the Facebook, Mariana Outdoorsman Association. But if you click, you'll get all the info and how to register and all that good jazz. Thursday, May 2nd at 3 p.m., there will be another trout stocking. That is in preparation for the May 3rd and 4th PA Trout Classic. I'll circle back to this one, but I'm going to go over some additional details and answer any questions anybody may have. Looking at farther beyond, we will have a trout stocking in June. I do not have a specific date yet. Saturday, July 13th at 9 a.m. is the annual MOA golf outing. That's a collaboration with the Fayette County Farm Bureau, and that will be at the Cedar Brook Golf Course. Certainly love to have everybody there. And then there's a mountain of events that we'll be doing going into the fall. Thursday, May 2nd at 3 p.m., we're going to be stocking trout. When we stock trout that day, the streams will be closed from 3 p.m. that day until the conclusion of the PA Trout Classic, which is May 4th at 5 p.m. So we're going to be putting out some reminders, letting everybody know this. But hopefully everybody will participate in the tournament. It's geared at not only getting our members to engage and be part of what we're trying to achieve, which is growing the organization and improving conservation efforts, investing into the environment, utilizing travel and tourism and the outdoors as a whole to get young people, families, to really get connected with Mother Nature. So I really hope you'll participate, but I just wanted to reiterate to everybody, including our membership, that from 3 o'clock on May 2nd until 5 o'clock on May 5th, the stream will be totally shut down. So just to let everybody know that is the case and that's the situation, and I hope you'll be understanding and know why. But yes, that is how it's going to be. It'll be closed for that event, for that, I guess we'll say it's almost 2.5 days. The annual golf outing, if anybody wants any information, again, that's on Facebook. That is also on our website. And I want to reiterate the fact that anybody does join the Mariana Outdoorsman Association and or goes on our website, you can register to get emails. So we send an email at least once a week, if not twice a week, with general updates and information. So please make sure you're checking your email. Check that spam folder. Sometimes I get people saying, "Oh, well, I didn't get your email." It's there. It might get kicked back for whatever reason, but just keep your head on a swivel. Look for that stuff. We always got some really good information. I actually put our YouTube videos from our radio show / podcast. We put that on there so people can watch it if they didn't get to hear us live. So it's just a good way for us to just convey information, disseminate information, and to keep you all updated and informed. The PA Trout Classic is filling up fast. I cannot stress this enough. If you want to get in on it, please go to MarianaOutdoors.com. You're going to go to our donate tab. It is and then you just follow the prompts that we have listed under the Trout Classic guidelines. I'm going to read it to you here real quick. Basically, you just go to MarianaOutdoors.com, click on the donate tab. Then you're going to pay your entry fee by putting May Trout Tournament in the comment section. And what will happen is we're going to reach out to you and we're going to go over all the rules, etc. So if you want to get in on that, please, let us know. We'd be happy to have you. It's going to be a fantastic event. And, I look forward to this unique opportunity because we've never done one this elaborate and this big. Although we've done them this big privately, we've never kind of opened it up to the public to see things. So if you're coming and you've never utilized our facilities or amenities, I highly recommend you come for a day pass. Day passes are $60. I think it's a great opportunity for you to learn the contour of the stream, learn the different fishing conditions. I actually had a gentleman call me yesterday and was asking me a bunch of questions, and he was like, well, the type of gear and setup. And I was like, well, we have two separate streams, and the tactics as to which I would personally recommend fishing one is not the same for the other. I would fish them completely different. And so on and so forth. So I think it's important for you, if you're coming, learn the kind of the lay of the land, learn what you're doing in advance. It's kind of like, I hate to give the example of a round of golf, but even the pro golfers and amateur golfers, they go and play a couple rounds at the golf course before they go out onto the and actually compete. So I'd recommend kind of learning the lay of the land, and I think it'll benefit you in the long run when you're really looking at things as far as the tournament as a whole. That being said, I wanted to go give you a little bit of a follow-up update. I don't have anything new from last week. It's all positives, though, in regards to the legislative updates. The Sunday hunting package, along with the crop damage package, is still headed in a positive regard. So when I know more about that, I will certainly let everybody know. But, what I've discussed in previous episodes, it's still on a positive trajectory. Now, that being said, looking ahead, I can tell you my personal things that I want to convey that are a major concern that I would like to see everybody collectively enforce solutions to. One of those is Title 18, criminal trespass. This legislative package is addressing Title 34, which Title 34 is the game code. I think that's all well and good, but Title 18 is, in my opinion, the kind of the mecca of the bulk of criminal trespass. So that, in my view, has to be addressed, has to be reformed, and is a high value target to get remedied, because outside of hunting and trapping, Title 34 does not cover anything under. It doesn't resolve anything for Title 18. So you as a private landowner, I have a lot of concerns personally that to better protect you, to give you more rights as a landowner, and to really hold people accountable for your private property. So, that's something, just looking ahead. Title 18 has to be fixed, has to be resolved, has to be remedied. It will be nice, though, to get Title 34 resolved, because obviously it's a big stepping stone, number one, but also I think it's very critical to use that kind of as a template to cookie cutter over to Title 18. It really sets a precedent then to resolve both parallel tracks. So that's that. Additionally, I've talked about it a lot in the past, permitting reforms in Pennsylvania. The Chapter 105 general permit, in my opinion, is totally a cluster, and that's putting it kindly. I just recently had a meeting with the DEP in Harrisburg, and nice people, really were nice people, but the disconnect between how things actually operate and what people think how they operate are two completely different spheres. Had a lot of conversations just about just the huge breakdown in communication, confusion, permits taking way too long, taking months at times to get approvals. So there's a lot of solutions there to resolve these problems. Basic things like, one of the things you have to do whenever you do a permit application is you have to do what's called a PNDI application. And actually, that's a fantastic system, electronic system through the state that allows you to really interact on a map, like with your property, and things populate with GPS locations, municipality, county, etc. There's foundationally, there's great things that could be utilized to transition for the whole concept of what we're talking about. The problem is that, these things are just the current methods, although they've made strides during COVID, getting an electronic system, it's not comprehensive. It's not effective and efficient in regards to when you hit submit, like you're not. So the whole concept of a general permit is that the state agencies basically are to feed the DEP information and say that these are standard operating procedures for whatever it may be. Putting fence along a stream, putting a stream crossing for agriculture, putting fish habitat in a stream for whether you're a conservation group, fishing and hunting clubs, county, etc. It doesn't really matter. The list is approximately 15 deep when it comes to the different permit applications. A boat launch, dock space. I could go on and on and on. The problem is these things are not set up in a capacity to be efficient. And when I say that, so let's say there's the 15 examples. Under those 15 examples, there needs to be various options that you as a consumer can pick from as a standard operating procedure. Standard operating procedures, there's not just one way to do something. So, for example, I don't know, let's say a stream crossing. Maybe that's a bad example, but I'll use the fish habitat. That's a better example. There's a lot of different ways to put in fish habitat, a lot of different ways. And even when you put in, for example, a deflector, let's just use a deflector. A deflector is typically like a triangular shaped structure that comes off the embankment, and it's meant to just kind of push the current or direct the current one way or the other. Those could be boulders just in the shape of a triangle. That could be boulders encapsulated with stream bed material. That could be flat rocks made in the shape of a triangle. That could be logs that are pinned into the ground in the shape of a triangle with rocks in the center. But you get what I'm saying. There's a lot of options just in that one thing out of fish habitat, out of a general permit number 1, that could be incorporated as a basic design. Where the state's really lackluster, and I would say where we're failing or behind the times is okay, I got a general permit number 1, and I want to do a deflector. They should give 5, 6 options of deflectors that are pre-approved by the different agencies that, boom, this is what I want to do. So I know I want to do a deflector. Boom, click on it, drag over to the map. I'm going to put a deflector right here. Okay, very simple. Everything automatically populates. It populates into the Excel files that are necessary for this document. It populates into the municipality, the county. And when you hit submit, and it's approved, just like you do with the PNDI application, the county, municipality, etc., the different agencies can all be notified that, such and such person or club or whoever it may be applied for this. They have approval to follow the general operating procedure drawings. That being said, general procedures are not concrete in their capacity to be micromanaged. And when I say that, these permits, when you look at them, I could literally gut them with a scalpel. I mean, like literally, there are so many things that are open to interpretation, but realistically, that's what it needs to be. Because you're not going to go out in every single application with a general permit and be breaking down things down to the inch, like doing a home design. We're not building a home from scratch. We're not getting building permits in those capacities where it has to be inspected by some code enforcement officer, etc. That's not what this is. These are supposed to be generic. It's supposed to be close to that design within, basically limits. We don't have that right now. We have this convoluted system that takes a long time to do. Yes, you can do it online, but then they're going to say to you, well, you got to go watch the tutorial videos to know how to do it. That to me is utterly insane. Like, I can remember I had a conversation once with a conservation district, and this particular person kind of got cocky with me and was like, well, an 85-year-old farmer could do a general permit. That is the most insane thing I've ever heard. I've heard some pretty insane things, but an 85-year-old farmer is not going to go on a computer and have a clue how to do all these permits. Like literally they have tutorial videos to try to figure them out. Like you almost need a training seminar just to learn and understand. You almost have to hire an engineer and or an environmental consultant that has an understanding of the complex system they've created. And these are supposed to be basic permits. And the problem is you sit here and convey the fact that this isn't working. This is a problem. We need to fix this. And they look at you like you have three eyes, like I'm crazy or something. We're not crazy. The concept here is to make it easier for each and every one of you, whether you're putting fence in at your farm, whether you have to do a basic stream crossing, fish habitat improvement, and the list is bigger. It's much bigger. Like I said, boat locks, boat launches. There's a lot of like basic things for a lot of it's agriculture, and I would say parks and rec oriented is ultimately what most of these are. There's a few others that go outside of the scope, but you get what I'm saying. It's all about standard operating procedures. They should provide what they're deeming as a standard operating procedure. But the kicker with all this is like they're not engaging the general public that consumes this. We're not listening. I hear a lot of legislators talking about it, but like the solutions are so basic in the capacity of how to really and truly resolve this stuff. And I think that's where I'm having a difficult time as a person, because I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my goodness, you're never going to understand and figure out a solution if you do not have the knowledge of and the experience of going through what you're actually proposing. And that's something else that came up in my meeting. And part of that meeting was I've had numerous inspections with general permits where I've had people from the county and people from the Fish Commission and people from even the DEP say that they did not know what they were looking at, that this isn't their expertise. And when I had heard this, I was personally somewhat in disbelief. That was number one. Number two, I couldn't believe it because I was flabbergasted in the capacity as to how in the world could we be in a position that we're going to send somebody out. Well, first of all, if they do not truly know and understand, why in the world are they reviewing these permits in the first place? That's problem number one. Problem number two is, what in the world, if they do not know and understand what they're even looking at when they're reviewing and approving them, why are they going out on site with and doing the same things? It creates confusion. It creates chaos. It's what's creating the lag time in permit approvals. You have people that are completely outside of their expertise that do not know what they're doing. And I mean that with utmost respect and sincerity to everybody involved. Do you want to go to a doctor that doesn't know that isn't qualified? Do you want to take your pets to a veterinarian that doesn't know what they're doing? I could go right on down the line. Permitting is no different. You need people that have come out of the private sector that have an understanding of causes and effects. We can go ahead and create whatever rules and regulations we want, but if you don't understand the implications of the consumer, then you're doing an injustice to society as a whole. And these little examples of what I'm giving here for general permits is where we've gone wrong. We have people that are overseeing these processes, that are inspecting these permits, that have no freaking clue what they're doing. And to me, that's an injustice to our society. It's hurting the state. It's hurting our counties. And we all need to, you're never going to go to a coal company, an oil and gas company. You're never going to go to, I'm going to say, a major developer that does not have qualified people on staff that knows what they're doing. It's point blank. You know what they're going to do? They're going to fire them. But not in government. In government, what we do is we say, oh, well, you don't know what you're doing. We're going to try to train you as you go through. And do you want to know what happens? These people learn enough, train enough out of college, because they're as green can be. And then guess what happens? Then they move on to a higher paying private sector position. That to me is where we're going way wrong. Like we're in such a bad. This is backwards. These people, we should be drawing people from the private sector to come because we want their knowledge, their expertise. We want to know, what can we do better? How can we make this more efficient for the consumer? These people don't care. They don't care. Like it's the process is so simple to fix. The solutions are simple to fix. The solutions are simple, but it's like, if you don't have the will to fix it because you're not somebody that's enduring it on your own, you're never going to understand the implications of your decisions. And I think that at its root is a huge, huge, huge thing. Now, I put some notes here. I think it's very important. So these are some ideas for everybody to think about. So ideas and solutions, we're just going to say, in regards to resolving the Chapter 105, I would say quagmire of Pennsylvania. Okay, here it is. So, number one, Chapter 105 permits should be accessed, whether that's in person or electronically. Now, I know what you're going to say. Well, that already is the case. I'll explain in a little more detail what I'm talking about there. Yes, they are accessible electronically, and yes, they are accessible in person, but no, you do not get approval that day. We're going to resolve that. Number two, the DEP should provide sufficient pre-designed and approved structures or applications that fall within the scope of standard practices, or also, as I mentioned, standard operating procedures that meet the guidelines of the Army Corps of Engineers federal standards. The Army Corps of Engineers has jurisdiction over waterways, so these structures can meet their guidelines, which is not a problem, and it's actually super simple. Standard procedures, DEP should collaborate with the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission and the Department of Agriculture to compile drawings to provide ample options for permit design and implementation. Again, standard operating procedures, super simple. Electronic applications. Electronic applications should allow for immediate approvals upon submission and payment. I can't get it any simpler than this, folks. When you hit submit, it's done. Boom. It automatically sends you a receipt with a full-blown copy of all your attachments, etc. Game over. They get everything, and guess what? You can move forward, and they are still, nothing changes over oversight. They still have the opportunity and purview to come out and inspect your structures, so on and so forth. 4, application done in person. See, this part doesn't exist today. The DEP and or the county districts should provide a person to aid in the process of completing an application via paper. At completion of this application, along with payment of applicable fees, approval shall be immediately granted. That does not happen. Right now, I've said this before, right now for a general permit, number one, you have to submit to the Fish Commission right out of the gate. Before it even moves forward from them, it then goes directly to the county, where you have to send 2 hard copies along with your payment fees. From there, it then goes to the DEP, which then they sign off on behalf of the Army Corps. There's too many layers. The Fish Commission just simply needs to provide pre-approved drawings. It's done and over. That's it. What do they need involved with anymore? They're not coming out and inspecting. I can assure you the waterways conservation officers that I've dealt with have flat out said to my face, like, we don't know what we're looking at. Then it ends up going to the county. I end up dealing with folks at the county. We don't know what we're looking at. Well, what the heck are you doing looking at this then? Does everybody see what I'm getting at here? We need to cut out the red tape. We need to cut the red tape in a positive regard. This is not an insult to anybody. These are just simply the facts. And if we can't discuss the facts, then we can never implement solutions. All right. So when I just mentioned about the paper, if you were an 85-year-old farmer and were not somebody that was the best with electronics, this is an opportunity with this idea for you to be able to go to your local conservation district, fill out the application in its entirety, and boom, you're done. Number 5, Chapter 105 permits filed that utilize drawings not within the scope. So say it's a drawing, it's still going to be a general permit, but it doesn't meet any of the specific drawings that are provided by the state. There would be a maximum of 15 business days for the department to provide technical review. If approval is not given within that time frame, the permits are automatically approved and deemed valid. Other states do this. There's ways that this can be done, but basically, if you go outside of the scope of what they've listed, as the different options for like a deflector, say there's 5 or 6 options for a deflector. If you go outside of that purview, you can still do that. It would not take it away, but it's just that it wouldn't be an immediate approval, and that's okay. I think that that's fine. I just think that we have to focus on the immediate stuff right now. The stuff that can be done, boom, in the click of a button, and cut out all the red tape, cut out all the layers of repetitive reviews. Like, this stuff's already supposed to be provided, so like, why don't we put this collectively together and make it simpler on everybody? So these are some things that I can tell you that I'm going to be working on, hopefully with the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau. I know they've already been working with me on it, but we have policy. We have policy to address these issues. It's now we're really breaking down, dissecting the ideas to do that, and just trying to figure out, like, the will for change. I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned is people talk about wanting change, but the will for change is to acknowledge a problem and then identify solutions. The experiences that I've seen with government is, well, that's how it is. And that drives me crazy because it's like, this isn't working. This needs to be better. We can do better. How do we do better? Like, you sitting here making excuses that this is how it is not making society any better. You're part of the problem, not the solution. So, these 105 permits are definitely on the radar. The last topic I want to talk about is USDA and U.S. Department of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife. I'm sorry. There is a lot there. Things that are geared at migratory birds that at one time were endangered, no longer endangered. Red-tailed hawks, great example. They're absolutely not endangered. They have become a raptor problem. I could have shows where I discuss about, and I know I've done this in the past, where I've talked a lot about, small game and the impacts and implications in regards to raptors. Gotten out of control, and it needs to be addressed. But because it has federal jurisdiction and federal purview, these are things that have to be looked at, discussed. How do we resolve them? How do we get better data? The data collection alone is a sad state of affairs. How we're gathering information, in my opinion, is somewhat a bit of a joke. That needs to be addressed. I'm a huge proponent of establishing an electronic app on a cell phone that anybody that's out and about in society in the state of Pennsylvania could share pictures, locations of wildlife, what they're seeing, etc. Because boots on the ground is the best solution to get good data. And, you have these people out hiking, biking, rafting, fishing, camping, hunting, trapping. I can go on and on and on. Golfing. The list is many as to people that are out in the great outdoors and seeing wildlife, but conveying what they're seeing to government is a disconnected idea. So I highly recommend, and we're going to definitely strive to address this so we can communicate information better and to establish more collaborations with people to disseminate and to share information. Also, other states have money allocated for USDA in the capacities of, how do I want to say this, for crop damages and just crop damage deterrence. Pennsylvania does not have this allocation in the federal budget. Personally, I would any day of the week rather see money going back into our state, our country, than seeing our money going in droves to all these other places. Just my opinion, just my view, but personally, there are opportunities to invest into our state to make it better, to make food prices cheaper, to make all capacities of your life less, especially in the economy, inflation, so on and so forth, the things that we can do to combat those ideas. Crop damage is a big deal. Predation is a big deal. These things have direct correlations and connections with the USDA and also with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. They have to be discussed. They need to be talked about. And then obviously looking at it as to how do we establish a solution to the collective problems that we're having. And I see it as everything we talked about today, whether you're talking about Chapter or Title 18 with criminal trespass, totally doable. It's in everybody's interest. The Chapter 105 general permits, completely and utterly doable. It's a huge benefit to our society because it's going to cut down on fees, timing, construction, and you're not taking away in any capacity to hurt the environment at all. It's just simply speeding up the processes and procedures and cutting down on duplicate services. It's just simply and utterly common sense. And the last piece is this whole communication gap with U.S. Fish and Wildlife and USDA. Don't get me wrong. I've dealt with folks in USDA. They're absolutely fantastic. U.S. Fish and Wildlife, I can't really speak too much about outside of my experiences. And my experiences is typically you get an email from an unknown, unnamed account that there's not even a face, name, picture, phone number, etc. So it's definitely I'll just call it a black box of unknowns for me. But these are some things that we're looking ahead at, some things that for the future, we spent all last year working diligently on the crop damage / Sunday hunting package with all those different issues and ideas. And, it seems like it's going to go through extremely smoothly based upon everybody's involvement in this whole process. That being said, looking ahead for next year now, these things are going to happen in a positive direction. And now it's kind of like, hey, we need to be looking ahead. What's the next moves we're going to make? What do we want to do to make the world a better place? So, obviously the Pennsylvania and being our priority here. But that being said, again, I want to give a special thanks to the Mariana Outdoorsman Association. You can join the MOA today at marianaoutdoors.com. Also, you can come book an upland bird hunt, whitetail, and or turkey hunt at Wild Acres Farm, which is managed by 10 Mile Creek Outfitters, 724-579-0924. And you can always follow us on Facebook, Wild Acres Farm Fishery and Regulated Hunting Grounds. And also, you can go to our website, 10mileco.org. And last but not least, I want to give a special thanks to Washington County as a whole, our elected officials, and also the travel and tourism promotion agency for all their efforts. Certainly, they're really promoting and investing into small business and understanding the value of everything from the great outdoors to Parks and Rec to mom and pop shops, mom and pop businesses. I think it's all just fantastic and critical. Just real quick, looking ahead, Saturday, March 23rd, tour and open house. That's at MOA, 1997 Morey Road, Clarksville, Pennsylvania, 15322. Thursday, April 4th at 3 p.m. That's our April trout stalking. Saturday, April 20th and 21st, long-range hunter class. And I just want to reiterate, all this information is on our website, marianaoutdoors.com, and also at our Facebook page, Mariana Outdoorsman Association. May the 2nd at 3 p.m., that's the trout stalking in preparation for the May 3rd and 4th PA Trout Classic. The PA Trout Classic is May 3rd from daylight till 5 p.m., May 4th, daylight to 4 p.m. Happy to have everybody. There's limited spots available. We actually are going to be having hotel and lodging discounts for anybody that participates. I personally will be calling everybody after you register, so to answer any questions, so on and so forth. And last but not least, it is our annual golf outing. We're collaborating with the Fayette County Farm Bureau. If you're not a member of the Farm Bureau, please join today, whatever county you're in, and or you can go directly to the state and join through that avenue as well. But the annual golf outing is Saturday, July 13th. It's at Cedar Brook Golf Course. If you've never been, it's an amazing track. The address is 215 State Route 981, Belle Vernon, Pennsylvania, 15012. All the information about the golf outings on our Facebook page and also on our website. Again, Mariana Outdoorsman Association. I just want to thank everybody so much again for all your efforts. I hope everybody's having an amazing fishing season. I know our upland bird seasons are wrapping up, and I know that everybody's preparing for turkey season around the corner. Keep those tractors greased. Make sure you're doing your maintenance on all your equipment. Do your due diligence on your field samples and soil samples. And I look forward to talking to everybody next week. This is Jason White. This has been The Great Outdoors. Thank you so much and have a blessed week.